Tripping the Bruce is an unforgettable 3-hour sailboat trip exploring coastline above shipwrecks and below along the Bruce Peninsula. We are joined by the executive producer, Mitch Azaria, who joins us again on Morning Live. Good morning, Bruce, or Mitch, I should say, as we about to set off on the Bruce. Mitch, good to see you again. We know about your work. You did tripping the Rideau Canal, and last time you were on Morning Live, it was tripping the Niagara, which was fantastic. It was like a hawk's view with your drone cameras. Now this sailboat ride we're about to embark on is just incredible.
Well, nice to be with you again, Bob. And yeah, this one, I think it's a spot that we kept hearing about. Everybody kept saying, you got to go to the Bruce. You got to go to the Bruce. It's a spectacular place. And John Morrison and I, my director, we went up there and we got on a boat at Tobermory, and within 5 minutes of seeing those soaring cliffs and the crystal clear water, and we knew immediately. And then to find out that there's all of these spectacular shipwrecks scattered all over, so it was a no-brainer to do this as the next episode.
Well, Tobermory is a diver's capital, and it's listed as some of the clearest waters in the world. It's like the Caribbean. I remember being in Tobermory and being in that harbor. So there was actually a magazine dropped in the harbor, and ad face up, and this is like 20 feet of water. You could read the magazine clearly. It's that clear. Just spectacular, and we see it in this Tripping the Bruce documentary.
Well, right in Tobermory, sort of two bays, as you know, and the second bay, which is just above the town, there's a very famous, maybe Canada's most famous wreck called the Sweepstakes. And what most people do is they'll paddleboard or kayak out to it and then sort of tip themselves into the water. And you can almost, touch the wreck from the surface. And within, 5 feet, you're on this just spectacular wreck. And, to think it's been there for, over 100 years. And, it's all wood, so it's perfectly preserved, as you said, in crystal clear water. So how many places in Ontario, never mind the world, can you do that?
Yeah. Tell us about the shooting style to capture this.
And that was the big challenge, was the underwater. We've kind of got the above water stuff figured out. This is a drone shot. We've got those figured out. We've got the shots from the shoreline figured out. What we couldn't figure out is how to continue exactly this sort of pace and this, non-cutting style underwater. And that took us a number of tries. And what we figured out what worked best was to mount a camera on top of a scooter and have, look at that. That's one of the wrecks going down. And then we were able to, mimic exactly what we did above the water, underneath the water, by the diver cinematographer holding onto the scooter and just caressing the entire wreck. And we did 5 of them for the longest one was almost 15 minutes, one continuous take. So we're extremely proud of the underwater stuff. We think it's unique. I don't think anybody's ever done that kind of underwater shooting before.
Yeah, this is of note too, because the aforementioned Tripping the Rideau Canal and Tripping Niagara, spectacular, but this was developed areas. This is very, very natural, and
Well, natural to the point of where we go. Most people know Flowerpot Island and Tobermory, but where we go from the top of the Bruce at the most eastern point to the western point, they don't even allow commercial tour boats to do it because the weather is so unpredictable on this Great Lake, and being close to shore and so forth. And it's about a 4-hour trip. And there's nowhere to pull in because you've got just this, escarpment that's, goes up for 150 feet. So if you did get into trouble in a boat and you wanted to, park yourself on shore, there's really nowhere to go. So it's a view of that area that I don't think anybody else has ever captured. And we kind of say that you may have seen Tobermory, you may have seen the flower pots, but you likely have never seen this particular landscape. And it's 3 hours worth of just beauty.
That's a very good point, because many are familiar with it. But yeah, you get into these nooks and crannies with this spectacular footage. We have seconds left, but I just want to ask you: we saw Flowerpot Island there. What is the state of that? Because of course we've had some landmarks crumble in the Bay of Fundy. Is it going to be okay?
Well, if you ask the park, because it's in the national park, they would tell you that it was only in the 1930s that it was rebarred and cemented, and that they would never do anything like that. But
Okay.
if you understand that the whole area is sort of, it's the iconic symbol of that area,
Yeah.
I think it's well preserved.
Oh, well, that's good. But we're looking forward to this trip. It premieres tonight. We'll put all the links up at chch.com. Good to see you again, Mitch Azaria.
Great to see you, Bob.